Hello there, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning into Mentium, the podcast that takes you on a journey to unlock the full potential of your mind. My name is Majama. I will be your host and your guide on this adventure into the fascinating realm of mindset, mental fitness, and personal growth. In each episode, I dive deep into the intricacies of the human mind, exploring the power of positive thinking, resilience, and the strategies to cultivate a mindset that propels you towards success. So buckle up for a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation. Get ready to unleash the power of your mind with Mentium. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mentium. Thank you so much for joining me one more time. In the last two episodes, we talked about why starting your own business can lead to true freedom and how breaking through the seemingly impossible is a key in reaching your goals. Well, today we are taking that conversation a step further by talking about the real secret behind achieving those big dreams: consistency. There's a quote that says, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. It's not about huge life-changing moments all the time. It's about the small, often overlooked actions that you repeat day in and day out. So today, we're diving into why consistency is the key to success. How small efforts can lead to big results over time, and how you can stay consistent even when it feels tough. Let's dive in. Why consistency is key? You see, one of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it comes in a burst of motivation or one giant leap. But that's far from the truth. Success is often the result of showing up consistently, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Think about fitness, for instance. You won't see results if you go to the gym once and never return. But if you work out a little bit every day, over time, you will see massive changes. The same is true for building a business, developing a new skill, or achieving any major goal. The problem is people tend to overestimate what they can achieve in a short amount of time, and they underestimate what they can achieve over the long term through small, consistent actions. Those little daily efforts compound over time to create something much bigger than any single burst of effort. Now, this brings us to a powerful concept called the compound effect. It's an idea that small actions, when repeated consistently, can have exponential results. And why the effects aren't always immediately visible. Over time, they compound into something much greater than you started with. Let me break down this example. Let's say you decided to save $5 a day. That might not sound like much. After all, what can $5 a day do? But think about this. At the end of the week, you will have saved $35. In a month, that's $150. And over a year, you've saved nearly $2,000. What started as something small, a seemingly insignificant action, has snowballed into something meaningful. Now, imagine you apply this principle to your personal growth or your business. What if you dedicated just 10 minutes a day to learning a new skill, networking, or developing your business? At first, it might not feel like you are moving the needle, but over the course of a year, those 10 minutes add up to over 60 hours of progress. Think about how much you could accomplish in 60 hours by being consistent. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, puts it beautifully. He says, every action you take is the vote for the person you want to become. What I love about this quote is that it reminds us that even the smallest actions contribute to the bigger picture of who we are becoming. Every time you choose to read that book, practice that skill, or work on that business idea, you are casting a vote for the future version of yourself, the one who's closer to success. It's not about grand, heroic efforts every single day. It's about small, consistent steps that add up over time. But here's where people often get stuck. Because these actions are small, they're also easy to ignore. And that's where The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson comes in. Olson explains that the actions that lead to success are often easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. Think about that for a second. The things that could move you forward, like making that one phone call, writing that one paragraph, or spending just 10 minutes brainstorming, are simple, but it is just as easy to put them off, to say, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's the real challenge. Olson calls this concept the slight edge. That is the title of his book also. It's not about making huge, life-changing decisions every day. Instead, it's about making small, positive choices daily. Choices that, in the moment, may seem insignificant, but when compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. Whether it's choosing to exercise a little bit each day, making healthier food choices, or consistently working on your side hustle, the slight edge is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Olson talks about how we often don't see the immediate payoff from these small actions, and that can make it easy to give up. We expect instant gratification. When we don't get it, we feel like our efforts are not paying off. But here's the truth. Progress isn't always visible right away. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it every day, and at first, you don't see anything happening. But below the surface, that seed is growing roots, and eventually it breaks through the soil. That's how the compounding effect works. The results might not be visible right away, but with consistent effort, they'll start to show. This is the same principle that applies to businesses, personal goals, or any long-term pursuit. The consistent everyday actions you take are building a foundation, even when it feels like nothing is happening. When we look at successful entrepreneurs, we often see the final product, the thriving business, the lifestyle, the success. But what we don't see are the years of small daily actions that led to that point. So the question becomes, what are the small actions you can commit today? What's one small thing you can do every day that will move you closer to the person you want to become, or the goal you want to achieve? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book a day. Maybe it's making one phone call. Or maybe it's dedicating just 15 minutes a day to work on your business. Whatever it is, remember that small, consistent steps will compound over time and will lead you to bigger results. Now, I want to challenge you to to reflect on your goals. What are you doing daily to cast a vote for the person you want to become? What small, seemingly insignificant actions can you take that will have a major impact down the road? Remember, the compound effect and the slight edge are at work every day, whether we realize it or not. So why not use them to your advantage? Your future success isn't built on one massive action. It's built on consistent, small actions over time. So start today. Make that small choice. Take that step and keep going. Now, let's look at some examples of people who've applied the power of consistency in their lives. Sarah Blakely, who we've talked about in our last episode, didn't just overcome rejection and challenges. She stayed consistent. She spent years perfecting her product, knocking on doors, and building her business one step at a time. That's the kind of consistency that turned Spank into the billion-dollar company it is today. Then there is Jerry Seinfeld, who is one of the most successful comedians of all time. When asked how he became so good at writing jokes, he said it was all about consistency. He made it a point to write at least one joke every day, no matter how he felt. Over time, that consistency is what built his legendary career. These stories show us that it's not about waiting for inspiration or bursts of motivation. It's about showing up day after day and putting in the work, even when it is hard. In my classes, I always remind people when we are doing public speaking, I always remind them that the only way you can become a writer is to write every day. The only way you can become a cook is to cook every day. So the only way you can become a good public speaker is to speak every occasion that you have. Now, let's be real. Staying consistent isn't always easy. Life gets busy or gets lifing. Motivation dips, and sometimes you just don't see the results as quickly as you would like. That's when most people give up. But here's the truth. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. You don't have to get it right every single day. The goal is to keep going, even if you miss a day or two. What matters is the pattern you are creating over time. One thing that can help is tracking your progress, whether it's a journal, an app, or a simple calendar where you mark off the days you've worked on your goal. Tracking can help you stay accountable. Another tip is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Celebrate the fact that you're showing up consistently rather than only focusing on the end goal. And finally, remember your why. Why did you start in the first place? What's driving you to reach this goal? When you are crystal clear on that, it becomes easy to push through the tough days. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to think about something you've been wanting to achieve. Whether it is starting a business, developing a skill, or making a lifestyle change, how can you break that goal down into small, consistent actions? What's one thing you can do every day that will move you closer to success? Remember, success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do consistently. Start small, but keep showing up. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe, share it with someone who could use a little motivation, and leave a review, please. As always, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions. I'd love to hear what you're working on and how you are staying consistent. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay positive and stay blessed. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. I am Majama, and this is Mentium. Peace.